360 Virtual Home Tours by Sam. Hi, I'm Sam Dorfman, and this is the ninth video in Viewing Matterport playlist. This is the wrap-up video where I'll review what we've covered and a few things more. This is not the end of the capabilities of Matterport. In fact, there'll be another playlist called Matterport Extras. But for this one, this will be the features that you're most likely to encounter when viewing a Matterport virtual home tour model. So first we have the information about the property and the contact information, and we can make that temporarily disappear, but for certain real estate websites we want to hide this completely, especially the contact information, because there's this question of branding. So we'll get into that in another video, but suffice to say that the MLS listing would have to hide the contact information. So the next section is our viewing screen, and the main thing about the viewing screen is whatever scene we have in there, we can do a 360 rotation, either using our mouse pointer to rotate, or if you're on an iPhone or other mobile device, then you could use your fingertip to rotate. Then we can also use the mouse wheel to make something closer or further away. Again, on an iPhone, we could use a pinch, a finger pinch, to do the same thing. We also have these little circles on the floor. If I click on a circle, I can move around the room, or if I wanted to leave the room altogether. That is our walking tour. But again, we can stay in one room and still do a walking tour. And last but not least on a view is a matter tag. And I've matter tagged every room in this particular property. So you're in a particular room, you can point on a matter tag. It gives you the name of the room and a brief description of the room. So the next thing is the bottom row, which is called the highlight reel. And some of the little pictures in the highlight reel have 360, upper left-hand corner. Others have a walking man. Okay, the ones that say 360, they're all 360 really, but by matter tag's definition, these are ones that were exterior views that didn't participate in the dollhouse or in the floor plans or in the walking tour. So those are the 360s. These guys here, the walking tour guys, they allow us to hit the circles on the floor and walk around. So the thing above it is a toolbar, and the first thing on a toolbar can open and close the highlight reel, and the second button I guess I should mention here, from the highlight reel, we can click one space at a time and walk through a property, and each of these spaces will enable us to get from one spot to another, and for a good design, they should be arranged from the start of your going through the house all the way to the very end, so that you cover the entire house in a nice natural fashion. And when the pictures that were taken, that you see the circles on the floor, if they're done in a nice fashion, then when we do the second option, which is the guided tour, we're doing the same thing as the highlight tour, except that now we have the appearance of a motion picture. As it goes from one room to another, it seems to be a picture for the transition to actually move us there. And in order to make it not choppy, the pictures have to be taken in a nice logical order and not jumping all over the house for each picture. Then, of course, I can stop this anytime I want, and I can do a floor plan. And the floor plan allows us to go into a room, and also we see labels for each room, and they were created by the developer, just like the labels and the highlights were also created by the developer. If you lift them out, you're not going to see them. Also, the matter tag carries through into the floor plan. So the same thing I saw when I was in the living room, I can see the same matter tag in the floor plan. And also, you notice we're in floor selector 1. I can go to floor 2. I see the floor plan for floor 2. And again, they have matter tags, and they also have room labels. So that's, let me put the floor selector to all, which is not a great view. But now if I go to Dollhouse, the Dollhouse has all the floors. And you notice in every single room, you can see a matter tag to describe that room. So like here, I go here, you see greenhouse room. And you have to be careful not to click on that because it'll put you in the greenhouse room. So that's that. Of course, the floor plan, you can't rotate it, whereas the Dollhouse, we can get all sorts of views. And again, if I'm looking, I want to see stuff on the first floor, from the top. If I'm tilting it, second floor is in the way, so I could use the floor selector and choose floor 1, and that makes the floor 2 disappear, so now we can look at floor 1 from the top. So the next thing, which I had taken out, and I put it back in just because, like every single model that I see has it in there, and that is the measurement mode. And the measurement mode, let's pick something I want to measure. Let's say I wanted to see how wide the fireplace was. So I go into measurement mode. I get this little plus sign in there. I click on that, and then I put my little X one end, and then without touching any buttons or anything, I move the mouse over to the other end of the fireplace. Click again. And that gives us the width of the fireplace. And I can move down. Click again. That's not too accurate. Oh well. Anyway, that's how that works. When I want to keep it, I hit the check. And so we have fireplace dimensions. And when I want to hide this stuff, I get out of that mode and want to see it again. I go back into mode and it's there again. You can go through the whole house measuring stuff if you want. I'm not crazy about this. Matterport says if you use their cameras, you get 99% accuracy. If you use any of the other cameras that it allows, they don't guarantee the accuracy. So take it or leave it. But I just thought I'd show you what it does. Okay, so let's leave that. And here we have shared a space, which is the social media. I didn't get much into that. We're going to have another video on that later in another group of showings. That's just to know it exists, and you can pass on the information about this model elsewhere, which is kind of nice. So if a lot of people like it, your model will be all over the place. And here we have the virtual reality tour. And here's the fueling the full screen, and unviewing the full screen. And I guess the only thing I didn't mention is that when we're looking at the matter tags, it's okay. Right now we're using just text and matter tags, but if I go to another model, this model uses an embedded YouTube video to describe the condo amenities. So I have the sound turned off for that, but at least you'll see what that does. So if I put my mouse right on that particular matter tag, you'll see it's opening.
This is a luxury condo realty production. Greetings, everyone. It's George Cahill, broker of record for Luxury Condo Realty Service, and welcome to Waterfront Square. Waterfront Square is a gated community on the Philadelphia waterfront and Northern Liberties at 901 North Penn Street. Our office is on location here, so I know the community.
So you notice I put my mouse on it to start it, and then to stop it I just take my mouse off and click it elsewhere. And so I can see the whole video or just the introduction part of it, whatever I want to see. And I guess I lied to you, the sound was not off. So that's it. I covered all the material that I want to for viewing Matterport, and that's the stuff that you'll generally see if you're looking at a model, and now hopefully you can understand how to go through a model pretty thoroughly. Stay tuned. There'll be many more videos. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Please come back.